And peace be unto you, all of you who have gathered this morning for this momentous occasion, and we'll explain later why it's so momentous and you get an opportunity to be a part of history in the making. But before we do that, my name is Jaletta Abdullah, and again I greet you on behalf of People Helping People in Need. And we're going to first start off opening with what we all need and always is appropriate in any occasion, and that is prayer. And we're going to ask our Imam Wahideen Sharif, and I know him so well. This is not just the gentleman who is going to be offering prayer this morning, but he is my Imam. And I appreciate him so much, and respectfully we ask you, sir, to come and offer opening prayer.
Greetings and peace be upon you in the mercy and the blessings of Almighty God. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, all praise belongs to Almighty God, the Lord, cherisher and sustainer, guardian and evolver of all the systems of knowledge. The merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, master of the day of judgment, you alone do we worship, in your aid do we seek. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed your grace, not of those who earn your punishment, nor of those who go astray. Amen. Peace be upon you.
At this point, we do have our illustrious mayor of Irvington in our presence, and we would be remiss if we didn't take the opportunity in his busy schedule to let him come in and have a few words to talk to us. Your Honor.
Hello, everybody. Looks like I'm here just in time to be handed the microphone. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. You know, it's, hey, I got my brother in here. Assalamu alaikum, brother. You know, it's always a pleasure here, and when we talk about people helping people, it's not just a slogan, you know. So I had about 30 things on my schedule this morning, but I wanted to make sure I was here to cut this ribbon because this is what we're supposed to do in our community. It's more than just talking points. It's about helping one another. It's about making sure that long after we're gone, there's still people helping people. So it's my honor and privilege to be here this morning. I know we have it scheduled for me to cut the ribbon. That's people helping people. So I'm not sure about how the program is going to roll out, but
If we can have another 10 minutes of your time?
you can have another 15 minutes of my time.
Wonderful. That's all.
Look and see how that works out.
Where we are celebrating the contributions of African Americans, not just here in the United States, but throughout the world. There have been contributions from the African American. And here it is, we get to celebrate two of our local heroes, or our local heroes, not just two, but an entire organization of local heroes right here in our own backyard. We need not take this lightly because we are showing by example what it is that should be done throughout the world. So I'm not going to take up a lot of our time this morning. I'm going to now turn it over to our visionary, the man with the vision behind the dream, who helped to materialize and manifest what was just at one time a brainchild, was just at one time a concept. And now we get to recognize 20 years of its movement in a direction that's in an upward position. So I bring to you now the CEO of People Helping People in Need, Mr. Abubakar Saku.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you all to our open house. We're all excited to be here. We're excited to have you as our guests in the tradition of the ancients. We'll see the elders here. But so we're going to start this process with helping you understand how we started this process. In 1999, Kadria Saku, Rashida Ziad, and myself had a vision to help people with disabilities. Actually, Kadria and Rashida were already involved. They kind of brought me in. And so we started off with the contract with the Department of Labor. providing employment for people with disabilities. We started in an apartment on the second floor in Bud Lake, right? And after a couple of years, the contract agency was telling us that we had to find a location that was handicap accessible because we were on the second floor. And so we moved into Morristown, and God provided an opportunity that was perfect for what we were trying to do. It was like an incubator facility, and we had like one room, it was handicap accessible, everything was provided for us. So we started processing our clients through that facility, and after about 6 years, we started realizing that we started getting people from recovery, people from prison, and you know, a lot of the people that couldn't pass the urine test. So that became a problem. So now it's like 75% of people, especially in the inner city, can't pass the urine test. As a result of that, we decided, okay, well, we need to do some drug treatment around here so that we can get these guys to pass the urine test so we can get them a job. And so that became part of that process. We are also happy to be here because there were certain forces that brought certain of us together to be able to provide ongoing services for the community, especially for this particular facility. My uncle, Belozy Harvey, was instrumental in helping us understand how we develop ourselves in our own communities, and to have an African-centered view in servicing the population that are in our communities. One of the things we realized is that his vision and experience going back and forth to Africa over 250 times elevated us in wisdom and knowledge and understanding of who we are. Part of that process became important because myself, Brother Usman, and Samad were instrumental in being part of his evolution. So we were all kind of trained by him. So one day, as I'm doing this particular drug treatment program, I got a call from Brother Samad. He says, I'm doing some things over in Africa, and you know, I want to start coming back to the community and see how we can help out. He asked me what we were doing. I said, we're doing substance abuse treatment and employment for people with disabilities. He said, well, I might want to invest in that. And I said, yeah, okay. People always say that, you know, they want to come and they want to get involved with something that's more relevant and self-satisfying, and helping people helping people that need the most help gives you the most satisfaction. And a year and a half later, he said, Abubakar, you know, I'm ready. I did my thing. I'm in Africa, and I need to finance something that's going to help the community. And lo and behold, he provided the funding from Pan Africa Group Holdings in collaboration with people helping people in need, and we were able to develop this site here. And this is how this spot began. So as the years went on, earlier, as I go back to our beginnings, we found that we needed to do the drug treatment component in order to be able to help people clean up so that we could place them in a job. So that lasted for several years, 10 to 15 years. We had several other facilities for substance abuse treatment in Trenton and in Morristown. And as a result of that, we decided to incorporate a larger perspective. So over these last few years, dealing with the heroin epidemic, and the problem with fentanyl and opiates, it became important to develop ourselves in a more specific way. Substance abuse to regular standards is just not getting it anymore. One of the things that I did find out this Sunday, McGreevy was on TV talking about the heroin epidemic and how it's impacting the community. And one of the things he discussed was the fact that we can no longer do a 90-day program, which is generally how our programs go. Intensive outpatient and outpatient program is usually a 90-day process. And after the 90 days, then either get ready to provide employment for them, or if they're successful, you can, place them in a job. If not successful, you might have to put them in long-term care. One of the things he talked about on the TV was that it's going to take longer now for people for addicts and recovering addicts to be able to heal and to be able to restore themselves back to success in society. Because once you take fentanyl for the first time, it takes a year to recover from the neurological damage. And so they're lobbying now in Washington to try to get treatment to last at least a year because of the damage done in addiction. And it's just not, the 30-day, 90-day model is just not working anymore. So as a result of that, we decided to create a model that's really on the cutting edge. Part of that is a medical model. So nowadays, the ideal program is a program where you have all of your services in one spot. Our approach has always been a holistic approach where we're dealing with clients mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And in that effort, we put together a program here in this facility that starts off with the medical model. So initially we'll have a medical doctor providing medical services for every client that comes in, as long as they consent to having the doctor see them. Our doctor, Dr. Anita Vaughn, she's not here yet. She is a internist. She is a HIV specialist, and one of the programs that is important that even the governor is putting money into now is called medication-assisted treatment. And Dr. Vaughn has been on the cutting edge of medical-assisted treatment for the last 15 years. Now it's a big deal. As a matter of fact, the governor just put in $100 million for providers like us to provide medicated-assisted treatment, so that all these people that are ODing off of fentanyl and all of these different drugs can have a way to start their healing process. And so Dr. Vaughn is going to be instrumental in us providing that particular service. It's important for that service and it's important for the doctors to work with treatment programs like ours, because the doctors give out these prescriptions and the medication, and the clients don't get no help. They just take the medicine, they sell it, they use it, and they don't really get help. Dr. Vaughn's position is, which is also a federal law, that you have the medicine and prescription, but you also go to treatment. So the other thing is, she breaks it down where we give you medicine every week. If you don't come to individual group counseling, you don't get your medication. So that's definitely an incentive for these guys that want to take their medicine and go out in the street and sell it. So we will have a greater impact on the clients that come through our service. That's the first phase, the medical piece. And after the medical piece, the doctor resolves that issue, then they'll be coming through our intensive outpatient treatment program, which includes group and individual counseling. And so in that program, the intensive outpatient component is a 90-day process, and usually it's extended longer to 4 months based on the compliance from the clients, from the patients, how well they're coming to treatment, if they're having a dirty urine or not, but we have to extend their services in our program. And so that continues their process, and then they're tailored down to outpatient, which is 1 or 2 days a week individual counseling. And in addition to that, we have a psychiatric nurse, Dr. Tola, and a couple of other doctors that will be providing psychiatric services. So we go from the medical facility to physical healing, and we go to the psychological, the mental healing with the psychiatric assessment, psychiatric evaluation. We'll use social workers or licensed social workers or licensed alcohol and clinical social workers to provide more ongoing psychotherapy. In addition to that, we'll be providing the licensed alcohol and drug counselor therapy for substance abuse. So our license here is substance abuse. It's also co-occurring disorders, which is substance abuse and mental health. With our license, the primary is substance abuse. The secondary is the mental health component. So therefore, the psych services are absolutely necessary in order for the patient to find a balance between the medical and the mental and the psychological problems. Because generally what happens is, in addiction, once you stop using the drugs, then the real issues start to surface. And those are the mental issues that maybe caused you to use in the first place, besides the trauma that happened in your life and all these other different problems that happen during the course of addiction.
Has disrupted that model, that this is a one-stop shopping. You know, a person comes here and they're able to transition through this maze and be guided through this maze of life. Can you imagine how difficult and challenging that must be for someone who, you know, unlike some of us who may have not gone through that, and you don't understand what it may take to go through it. Well, People Helping People has leveled that playing field and made it really easy for a person to feel at home while they're going through this process. Well, next we want to move right along with the program. And we want to bring up the clinical side of this component that Abubakar spoke about, and that will be by none other than Dr. Shabazz, the clinical physician.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Now, I'm at the age where, you know, I have to say something right away before I forget. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. But what I want to say before I forget is that we need your referrals, right? We're going to talk to you and we're going to explain what we do, but if you can refer as many people as you can to People Helping People, we would appreciate it, all right? And I also look at life sometimes, how life, you know, has its circle. You know, it circles around, right? And I remember growing up, I'm a kid from Newark, and when I was a little kid, sometimes we would get the idea that we're going to go to different neighborhoods, right? And I remember as a little kid coming up Springfield Avenue and all that, and making it to Irvington, and that was the wrong move. They chased us out of Irvington, oh my God. Some of us didn't make it, you know. Some of us got hurt real bad. So, in other words, we wasn't welcome in Irvington. And now, we welcome big time. Now we have a task at hand where we're going to help Irvington and the people in Irvington and Newark get better. Now, as it relates to substance use disorder, substance use addiction, and Abubakar said it all, basically. All right, so I'm going to just talk about the challenges that everybody faces as it relates to the substance use disorder, because it's a substance use disorder now. And one of the things that was discovered is that it affects the brain. Right? This, your brain becomes wired in a manner that you just can't think about doing anything else, right? And so what we try to do is try to rewire the individual, right? And what's so difficult about substance use disorder, and why I'm going to try to get you to understand, you know, why people come back. Because, you know, on the outside looking in, you might think they could just stop. All they got to do is don't put it in their body and it's good, right? But it's difficult. Besides the brain being rewired, in that life, in that culture, and it is a culture, you get all your needs met as a human being. And it's like 5 basic needs, and we teach this to our clinicians, to the best of my ability I do. And we teach this to the residents because if we are not helping them get their needs met without drugs, we're not doing a good job at all, right? And so it's certain basic needs, and one need is survival, right? And all humans have a need to survive, right? Physically and psychologically, right? And the drugs do that for these individuals. Some people cannot do the laundry, go to work, clean the house, do all the basic things unless they have that drug in them, right? And some are real good. Sometimes you talk to the individuals of employers, and they say, oh man, he a good worker, he got a little problem with something, but when he get to work, he work, right? They don't have an understanding that he might have some juice in him or whatever to get him there, all right? But, and so we all have a need to survive. Another big one is belonging. Everybody have a need to belong.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations.
And the journey begins.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Anytime. This is really a great program. I mean, they've been doing stuff for us in the township for many, many, many years. And to see it come to this, it's just an awesome, awesome moment in the township. Tomorrow night, we're having the State of the Township address at 941 Clinton Avenue here in Irvington. And we're going to talk about some of the progress that's going on in the township. And we're going to mention this project here because this is something that really reaches out and touches people in a way that we can't even quantify. So again, congratulations to everyone. Thank you, Mayor.
Behind the man with vision is the woman with sight.
That's right.
If not, who's going to help them to know what to do? Y'all didn't get that. You'll get it when you go home. But nonetheless, the woman with sight, with foresight, with insight, my sister, my friend, the woman who is the executive director of the employment component. I trust this agency so much that I trust them with my son, who is dealing with some disabilities and incapacities, and they are assisting him with finding employment. And so I want to bring up to the stage, bring up to the podium, none other than the queen of PHP, my sister Kadria Saku.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. First, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking out time of your busy schedule to be here with us this morning. It's epic. I really do appreciate it. I humbly thank you. I especially would like to thank Mayor Tony Voss and his amazing administration, along with my brother DJ Kwak, who always have to be here for me to have this stuff, have the mic and everything going like it's supposed to. I would like to give truly thanks. Quickly, because I know you heard a whole lot, we do supported employment, and it just consists of finding jobs for people with disabilities. Once in that process, we do resume writing, interviewing skills, and all what it takes for them to become successfully employed. Once they're employed, then we job coach them. If you don't know what a job coach is, what we do is just help them along the way until they become acclimated. Think about a basketball coach. If you need to shoot better through your left from your right, that's what a coach do on your job. So with that being said, our percentage of placement is very high. It's about 85%. It is. And it's only due to the fact of our awesome team. Not only are they professional, compassionate, understanding, they go far, far beyond what it takes, what this job entails to do. They're educated, but not in the way they educated both in institutional wise with degrees, but what supersedes that is their education in life, in caring, in diversity, in knowing what it actually takes for this society to be a better world, because we're really living in some difficult times. Again, the reason for our success is because of the staff. And today, I want to thank our staff, our coaches. Can you please stand and let them know who you are? All our staff, our IOP, our counselors, would you all stand? Because we're not going to take our time now to introduce who's going to talk. But I don't like all that talking. I like them to keep moving. I also want to tell you about our very new program that we have. Sister Salima, we have a fashion school. She teaches pattern making. Not only do they teach you to sew, but they also teach you how you could be your own design. We're very big on vocational and the arts. Something that we really have to implement in our communities, because that's what you do when your time is down. That's what you do because you have passion about it and you love a thing. You will be the best at whatever it is when you're doing something that you love. Okay, with that being said, I'm just going to move it straight along, and we are going to go downstairs for the ribbon cutting. We have a lot of food. Oh, and I want to thank Sunrise for, that was so nice. They sponsored a lot of this food. I wish we had, I didn't know exactly how much, because we sure could have saved a whole lot of money had I known, but I really do appreciate it. So Sunrise, are you here, or did you just drop it? Thank you so much. Everyone here, just know our doors are open. If you have anything that you think that would enhance the life of those that we serve or those that you're involved with, please do not hesitate about knocking on our door, because like he said, like everyone said, we are people helping people in need. Not meaning that we won't help you if just people helping people, but we really want to circle ourselves around that those are in the need. Again, I humbly thank each and every one of you for taking out the time to be here with us today, and may God continue to bless our journey, your journey. Again, if you have anything that you want to say or you think that can enhance our program, our doors are open.